Hello, lovely viewers. You are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be presenting to you the things you'll find in every summary passage. So when you take your summary passage, you are going to find the following things. You will find the general topic that the writer is writing about. You're going to find an introductory statement. You're going to find topic sentences. You're going to find supporting sentences. You'll find definitions, explanations, examples, facts, definitions, and a whole lot of things. These things are so many that candidates become confused as to what exactly they are expected to present as answers. So in this video, we're going to discuss them thoroughly so that when you go to the examination hall, you will know exactly what to select as answers to summary questions. And we are going to answer a summary passage and we will show you how things are done. So we will discuss the introductory statement, we will discuss the illustrations, the examples, and how writers introduce their point and their topic sentences. So sometimes you can find the topic sentence at the beginning, in the middle, or even at the end of a paragraph. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Once again, let us show you a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. So the first thing you're going to find in the summary passage is the introductory statement. The introductory statement or opening sentence informs readers of the theme or subject matter of the passage. The introductory paragraph supplies the background information needed for the readers to understand the passage. Usually, the introductory statement does not contain any answers, but in some passages they do contain some answers, but in most cases, the introductory statement or introductory paragraph does not contain any answers. So there are common ways examiners or the authors introduce their summary passages. So one of them has to do with making a broad general statement and narrow it down to the subject matter of the passage. So let's see how authors use this. Let's consider this example. HIV/AIDS was first identified in Ghana in March 1986. The rate of infection was 1.5%. 15 years later, the rate was 3.6%. In 2003, Ghana had 350,000 people living with HIV and 300,000 deaths. Since then, more than 55,000 HIV/AIDS cases have been reported in health institutions in Ghana. So with this introduction, the author makes a broad general statement and narrows it down to the subject matter of the passage. Let's consider this example. It is a well-established fact that some students perform creditably well in school, while others flop badly. Some students may be intelligent and highly motivated, but still find it extremely difficult to climb the academic ladder. Such students face learning problems, but may not necessarily have physical disabilities. Here again, the author has made a broad general statement about academics and what aspect of academics he is concerned about student performance, and what aspect of it. He informs us that some students perform very well, others do not perform very well. Some may be motivated and highly intelligent but still perform badly. So he narrows down to tell us that they might not necessarily have physical abilities. So what this simply means is that this passage is going to be about learning disabilities and not physical disabilities. Another way an author can introduce a summary passage is to start an idea or a situation that is opposite to the one that will be developed in the passage. Yes, most of the times, authors do this to erase any erroneous ideas that the readers may have about the topic. So, when they do this, they are able to erase the misconceptions or the fallacious ideas that the reader might have about the topic that is to be discussed. So let's consider this example. Our land is blessed with many rich mineral resources, thus gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, and oil. Mining, therefore, contributes immensely to the national income. Communities from where these resources are derived shall not be adversely affected by their extraction. Unfortunately, that appears to be the lot of many mining communities in the country, which now face poverty, deprivation, and squalor as a result of the extraction processes. So, the writer or the author began the passage as if he is going to talk about the importance of the minerals to the country. He says, Our land is blessed with many rich mineral resources. However, he brings in the focus, which is how the mining communities are deprived or left in abject poverty. So you see, there are so many ways writers can introduce a summary passage. Another way of introducing a summary passage is to explain the importance of the topic to the readers. This is also another common way that examiners introduce the topic to readers. So let's take this example. No discussion of a just and free society will be complete without consideration of the special position of women. Equality is indivisible, but in many societies, women do not have equal rights with men. Jamaica is no exception. So, with this introduction, the reader explained the importance of the topic to the readers. He tells us that no discussion of a just and free society will be complete without consideration of the special position of women. And he narrows it down to talk about a particular country. And what country is that? Jamaica. So, the speaker made a broad general statement and now narrowed down in as much as he's talking about women, but not all women, or not all women in all countries, but women in Jamaica. This is also very important. Then another way the author or the writer can introduce the summary passage is by asking one or more questions about the subject of the topic. The author may ask one or more questions about the subject or the topic for the readers to think about the answers. So let's consider this introduction. Have you ever considered the vast difference between the conventional desktop telephone and the modern handset telephone? The desktop telephone has a distinct function, that of making and receiving calls. Apart from that, perhaps the other use is aesthetic, adding some beauty to the furniture pieces in the room. So here, the writer began by asking a question. Have you ever considered the vast differences between the conventional desktop telephone and the modern handset telephone? So, this is also another way writers introduce a summary passage. Then we come to another one, which is the author can introduce a passage with a quotation. This is also very important. Let's consider this example. You cannot expect to go through life without facing problems. Difficulties, perplexities, and frustrations are inevitable parts of human experience. Accepting the inevitability of problems can help you to approach them with a strong frame of mind rather than thinking that you are a victim, expressly singled out by a malignant fate. This is also another way writers introduce their passages by talking or quoting something. So let's now move to another thing you will find in a summary passage. So in every summary passage, you are going to come across the topic sentence. So another thing you will find in the summary passage, the topic sentence. This is what candidates should be looking out for. The topic sentence contains the main idea of the paragraph. It tells the readers what is to be discussed or covered in that particular paragraph. Once you identify the topic sentence, your goal now is to write it in your own words as far as possible and present it as the answer to the summary passage. This is very important. So the topic sentence is the carrier of the main idea in the paragraph. It can appear anywhere in the paragraph. It can appear at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the paragraph. So be very mindful. It is not always at the beginning. It can appear at the beginning, in the end, and in the middle. After the topic sentence comes the explanation. The topic sentence is the answer and not the explanation. Once again, the topic sentence is the answer and not the explanation. Let's consider these examples. Advertisements, the result of competition, do have a useful function of giving information. You see, advertisements, the result of competition, do have a useful function of giving information. So, if you ask, what are the functions of advertisements? They give information. You don't have to write, advertisement, the results of competition, do have a useful function of giving information. Such an answer will be marked wrong. So, you have to know exactly what you're picking as answers. If there's any word that can be substituted without changing the meaning of the word, then you're free to change it. So advertisement is the key word here. You cannot change it. If you change it with any other word, you're going to change the meaning of the whole sentence. For instance, if you write campaign, campaign does not mean advertisement. Usually campaign is used for political messages and not to sell things. So you have to maintain the word that is central to the whole passage. Then look for the words that can be changed without changing the meaning of the passage. So, advertisements, the results of competition, do have a useful function of giving information. So they give information. So in what other words can you write? They give information. That is what you should be thinking about. Let's consider this example. Among these problems, perhaps the most worrying is the bad attitude the students have towards their studies. So, you have to know exactly where to find the topic sentence. So the topic sentence here has to do with what? The bad attitude the students have toward their studies. So when you're talking about why candidates fail an examination, you don't have to write, among these problems, perhaps the most worrying is the bad attitude the students have towards their studies. This is wrong. The bad attitude the students have towards their studies. That is the topic sentence. You can shorten it, you can take out some words, you can change some, but make sure that the meaning remains the same. Let's consider this example. Indeed, a serious problem is that students sometimes find it difficult to grasp abstract ideas, especially in science and mathematics. Students sometimes find it difficult to grasp abstract ideas. That is the topic sentence. They find it difficult to grasp abstract ideas, especially in science and mathematics, should not be added to your answer. Look at the comma. So the comma is only telling us that this is an exception, even though there are other subjects, but in science and mathematics, they can't understand abstract ideas. This is very important. So, once you identify your topic sentence, it is difficult for students to grasp abstract ideas. Then you now pick it out. If there's any word that you can change, you do the changes, but make sure the meaning still remains the same, or you don't lose the meaning in the process of changing certain words. So let's now move from the topic sentence to supporting sentences. The supporting sentences explain the main ideas of the passage. So, after the topic sentence, every other thing you see is the supporting sentence. They provide the needed information for the understanding of the main idea. The support sentence convinces the readers of the soundness of the author's claim, assertion, or opinion. So let's consider this example. Indeed, a more serious problem is that students find it difficult to grasp abstract ideas, especially in science and mathematics. So, we have taken our topic sentence from this. How do we identify the supporting sentences? The supporting sentences, as we said, explains the topic sentence. So, how is it that students cannot grasp abstract ideas? The writer tells us that reading, the correct spelling of words, and remembering the facts are all connected with this problem. Such students will do well not to fall into the trap of using drugs that can supposedly aid memory. All that such drugs can do is to wreak havoc on their bodies. So, the writer gives an explanation to the point he has given. Next example. Jamaican women do not have full equality before the law in a number of respects, and particularly in marriage. So, the writer is going to explain to us what he means by this. More often than not, they get less pay than men for the same work. They do not enjoy equal job opportunities and often suffer, while substantial public and unemployment relief are designed with men exclusively in view. There are very few women members in an elected parliament of 53. Only a handful of top civil service posts. All this happens in spite of the fact that girls have equal access to early education and have a generally superior record of academic performance. It happens too, in spite of the fact that women have been the backbone of the Jamaican family for a century and tend to be active in politics as well. So you see, all these things are the supporting sentences. They explain the topic sentence. So, in the supporting sentences, We can find evidence in the form of facts, definitions, reasons, examples, or illustrations to back up the claim of the topic sentence. Usually, the topic sentence is seen as an argument that must be proven to the readers, and to do this, we need examples, reasons, illustrations, facts, and definitions. Do not write examples, reasons, illustrations, facts, and definitions as answers to summary questions. Please do not write them. You can only do so if the question instructs you to write them. Other than that, examples, reasons, illustrations, facts, and definitions are not accepted as answers to summary questions. Let's consider this example. It has been reported by the Ghana AIDS Commission that about 130 people contract AIDS daily. According to Population Action International, 330,000 Ghanaians within the age group of 15 to 49 years are living with HIV/AIDS. The current rate is lower than most other West African countries, and in 2007, there is evidence that the rate was slowing down. However, this gives no cause for complacency. All that you have seen in this paragraph are just explanation. There's no point here, so we don't expect a candidate when you are asked to write why the cases of HIV cases in Ghana are not actually known. Then you go and write, it is reported that, or it is reported by the Ghana AIDS Commission, blah blah blah. All these things are not necessary. Let's consider this example too. Further research was promised to determine whether chewing gum was medicinal. The suspicion was that it was. Otherwise, why would a teenager in a bloom of youthful exuberance lie dead with gum securely wedged between his molars? Research will also establish whether prehistoric teenagers chewed gum until all its sweetness ran out, and whether he did so with relish. The excavation and its attendant analysis had so far cost 18 billion American dollars, the newscaster said. So, you will find examples, you're going to find illustrations, you'll find explanations and facts in this particular paragraph. Nothing more. You wouldn't find an answer in certain paragraphs. You have to be mindful of that. Then, for clarity's sake, enumerate your answers. If you're answering, we expect to see point 1, then you write your answer, point 2, then you write your answer, or you can use the I. Don't just write the answers. For clarity's sake, enumerate your answers. Write your answers in complete sentences. This is equally very important. Write your answers in complete sentences. When we say write concise and short sentences, it doesn't mean you should write one-word answers. No. Just make sure that your sentence does not exceed 2 lines. And that is okay. 1 line is okay. It shouldn't exceed 2 lines. But that doesn't mean you should write 2 or 3 words. No. If the 2 or 3 words will make up a complete sentence, great job. But if it wouldn't, please add more words to make sure it becomes a complete sentence. Do not give 2 answers in 1 point. This is also very important. Do not give 2 answers in 1 point. Always give every point 1 answer. That is what is expected of you. And where the answer requires that you compare 2 things, it is important for you to use appropriate contradictory words to do so. For example, you can say, the single-sex school is better than the mixed school. Boys are fond of stealing, while girls like gossiping. So in trying to differentiate or show the similarities between something in the passage, you have to use the appropriate words to do so. So in an instance where the terminologies in the passage cannot be changed, or changing the terminology will change the meaning of the passage, you are advised to maintain it. Do not change the meaning of a word. That will change the meaning of the entire passage. This is very wrong. So let's consider this example. The girl is very intelligent. If you write, the girl is brilliant, that's okay. He likes playing football. If you write, football is his hobby, it's equally correct. But in sentences like, robots work efficiently and you decide to write machines work efficiently, you're going to be marked wrong. Or the saucepan is hot and you decide to write the bowl or the plate is hot. They are not the same, so you're going to be marked wrong. We're now going to answer a summary passage. A. In one sentence, state why, according to the writer, women use makeup. The question again. In one sentence, state why, according to the writer, women use makeup. B. In 5 sentences, one for each, state the writer's argument against the use of makeup. The question again. In 5 sentences, one for each, state the writer's argument against the use of makeup. Those who see nothing wrong with makeup argue that man must continue to improve on God's creation, else we will return to the culture of the Stone Age. We go in for the latest fashions in dress and decorate our houses, so why should women not paint their lips or even their bodies? To them, makeup heightens the beauty of women and gives them the angelic brightness God intended for them. But, like the true disciple of Hamlet that I am, I will complain to my Ophelia, God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. Unpainted houses may look unfinished and dull, but I do not see unpainted lips as ugly and incomplete. On the contrary, it retains the innocence God gave it. I believe a woman who uses makeup primarily intends nothing but to charm and lure men. Besides, I do not know any religion that advocates makeup. Emboldened by Moses' law against the use of earrings, after Aaron's rebellion created an idol made of earrings, one saint forbade women to smear their faces with ensnaring devices of cunning, while another one asked, what have rouge and white to do with a Christian woman's face? Why then should a woman perforate her ears, or nose, or even dry her hair? Even feminists, supporters of women's rights, would like women to avoid using makeups for, they say, it is one of the tools men use to subdue women. Instead of yielding to those male chauvinist pigs, who should have them concentrate on their looks and so fall easy prey to their tricks, women should rather go out and fight for their rights. Beauty cannot be a substitute for hard work, they believe, nor can it create self-esteem. No wonder they demonstrated so vehemently against beauty contests in America in the 1960s. Environmentalists and animal rights groups also come out strongly against the use of cosmetics. Many living animals and plants are destroyed every year to manufacture makeup, and this threatens the environment. In 1984, they point out experiments were conducted on more than 17,000 living animals by cosmetic researchers in Britain alone. If it must be for something better than creating makeup to beautify a woman's face, we should not deny our children the beauties of nature just because some women would like to have a facelift. Perhaps the most important argument against women's use of makeup is the risk to their health. Over the years, women have been casualties of cosmetics and lead poison. Modern scientists have warned that cancer can be caused by skin bleaches and hair dyes, and Michael Jackson can testify that hairspray can cause burns. Indeed, using makeup can be painful, costly, and deadly. The passage again. A. In one sentence, state why, according to the writer, women use makeup. The question again. In one sentence, state why, according to the writer, women use makeup. B. In 5 sentences, one for each, state the writer's argument against the use of makeup. The question again. In 5 sentences, one for each, state the writer's argument against the use of makeup. Those who see nothing wrong with makeup argue that man must continue to improve on God's creation, else We will return to the culture of the Stone Age. We go in for the latest fashions and dress and decorate our houses. So why should women not paint their lips or even their bodies? To them, makeup heightens the beauty of women and gives them the angelic brightness God intended for them. But, like the true disciple of Hamlet that I am, I will complain to my Ophelia. God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. Unpainted houses may look unfinished and dull, but I do not see unpainted lips as ugly and incomplete. On the contrary, it retains the innocence God gave it. I believe a woman who uses makeup primarily intends nothing but to charm and lure men. Besides, I do not know any religion that advocates makeup. Emboldened by Moses' law against the use of earrings, after Aaron's rebellion created an idol made of earrings, one saint forbade women to smear their faces with ensnaring devices of cunning, while another one asked, what have rouge and white to do with a Christian woman's face? Why then should a woman perforate her ears, or nose, or even dye her hair? Even feminists, supporters of women's rights, would like women to avoid using makeups for, they say, it is one of the tools men use to subdue women. Instead of yielding to those male chauvinist pigs, who should have them concentrate on their looks and so fall easy prey to their tricks, women should rather go out and fight for their rights. Beauty cannot be a substitute for hard work, they believe, nor can it create self-esteem. No wonder they demonstrated so vehemently against beauty contests in America in the 1960s. Environmentalists and animal rights groups also come out strongly against the use of cosmetics. Many living animals and plants are destroyed every year to manufacture makeup, and this threatens the environment. In 1984, they point out experiments were conducted on more than 17,000 living animals by cosmetic researchers in Britain alone. If it must be for something better than creating makeup to beautify a woman's face, we should not deny our children the beauties of nature just because some women would like to have a facelift. Perhaps the most important argument against women's use of makeup is the risk to their health. Over the years, women have been casualties of cosmetics and lead poison. Modern scientists have warned that cancer can be caused by skin bleaches and hair dyes, and Michael Jackson can testify that hairspray can cause burns. Indeed, using makeup can be painful, costly, and deadly. So candidates who provide answers like this will be marked wrong. For example, when asked the question, in one sentence, state why according to the writer, women use makeup. So any candidates who present answers like, to them or to women, makeup heightens the beauty of women and gives them the angelic brightness God intended for them. Such an answer will be marked wrong. Let's move to the second question. In 5 sentences, one for each, state the writer's argument against the use of makeup. Here again, any candidate will provide answers such as 1. I believe women who use makeup primarily intends nothing but to charm and lure men will be marked wrong, just speaking word for word from the passage. 2. I do not know any religion that advocates makeup. This one is equally wrong. 3. It is one of the tools men use to subdue women. This one is also wrong. 4. Many living animals and plants are destroyed every year to manufacture makeup. This one is also wrong because the writer has just lifted word for word from the passage. 5. Against women's use of makeup is the risk to their health. Thus, painful, costly, and deadly. This one is also wrong. So, lifting answers word for word is not allowed in summary writing. So we expect you to present answers like, women use makeup to charm men, or women use makeup to lure men. No religion advises its members to use makeup. No religion advises its members to use makeup. Men use it to subdue women. A lot of living things are destroyed annually to produce makeup. It is risky to women's health. It is painful, costly, and deadly. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. So we'll meet again in our next lesson. Bye for now.